What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Collab District podcast. I'm bringing another local entrepreneur to you today, the owner of Happy Place Craft Beer, Wine, and Spirits, and the infamous Happy Place Eatery. Welcome to the show, Sky Center.
Hey, thanks for having me, brother.
I appreciate your time. I always say time is the most valuable thing that we have in life because we don't get it back. But I remember one of the first times I met you, it was called Sam Sadaquay Liquor.
Yep.
I was going over there. I live near River Park, so I was going over there, and I was on this Douce kick. And you were the only one that was carrying the Douce at the time. And I would go over there, and I would just remember, like, you had a super cool vibe. You kept the place, like, lively and energetic. And I was like, man, it just made me want to shop with you. So,
Appreciate that, man.
For me, I do this podcast, sharing platforms with local business owners in hopes to share your story and inspire other people, right? So tell the audience a little bit about your background, like where are you from, your upbringing, and most importantly, like of your Indian descent, like how did that shape you growing up?
Well, let me start off with I come to this country when I was 2 years old, my friend. Me, my mom, and my brother came here when I was two. My dad was already here working and trying to build a life for us here in the States. I would say what has really helped me has been more of our culture and the hard work that was instilled in me by watching what my parents did. So I think those are the things that really shaped me and made me who I am today. But it was also I was a very observant kid. And I watched how my parents treated people. Like when people came in the stores or the house, it was always with enthusiasm, with love, with respect. And I think those are the things that I really took away from them that really helped me every single day of my life.
Yeah, so that's where that comes from, right? It comes from your parents. And your dad was an entrepreneur, right?
Yep.
And so I'm a third generation contractor. So, having a dad or someone close to you being an entrepreneur, did it make it more real for you? Did that spark your own entrepreneur spirit when you were young?
Absolutely. I think what's really important is whether it's your parents or friends or anybody in our life that we can bring around us that can inspire us, right? Because I think we're limited to our beliefs, right? So it was very easy for me to get into entrepreneurship and do this because I saw my parents do it, right? And that was one of those things that is very important for us to do is open our mind and allow us to believe something is possible. And I think that is really important, whether it is your parents, whether it's a friend, surround yourself with somebody who's doing something you want to do and allow yourself to believe that you can do it as well.
Yeah, that's very key is not only like your parents, but then like you said, surrounding yourself with a good environment, whether it's mentors, whether it's a good team, because we can only go as far as that, right?
Absolutely. You got to collab, baby. You got to collab.
You gotta collab. Growing up, did you always have this entrepreneurial spirit? Like, did you have a hustle? Because like for me, when I was like 17, 18 years old, 19 growing up, I used to hustle like the throwback jerseys and the hats and this, I would buy them and repurpose them and resell them. Did you have a hustle growing up?
Yeah, so freshman year, what I would say is my entrepreneurship really kicked in. I've always had the bug. But what happened is I saw that one of my cousins used to hustle CDs. He used to get it from my other cousin. So my cousin was getting it straight from the radio station, the ones with the bootleg ones with the holes in the UPC saying you can't sell this, right? Yeah. So he was hustling them, and I'm like, damn, I could do that. So then I went to my cousin, my older cousin, and I used to start buying them from him wholesale, and I would come around the school, and I would start selling them. But the thing about me is I was always into branding and marketing, and I didn't even realize it. So I branded and marketed myself in the school to be, I used to go by my legal name, which is Guggen, right? Everyone couldn't pronounce it. They called me Goggin, right? So they're calling me Goggin's the guy to go to for the CDs, right? So I made it announced to the whole school that I'm the CD guy. Don't matter what CD you want, I'll get it for you, and I'll get it to you before Sam Goody get it.
Wow! And then you had. Remember, we had the portfolios with the CDs.
Oh yeah.
Our kids now don't have no idea about the portfolio.
Them Case Logic ones too. You know what I'm saying?
Put them out the back seat and put them in the deck, and you're right. And that's cool, man. Like I said, I've always had a hustle myself. But you've been in your industry for over 20 years, and it sounds like you started out as a young entrepreneur like myself. Like, did you have challenges being a young entrepreneur and then having to have people follow you that may be older than you and more experienced than you?
Well, I'll go back before I even got into my business, right? Because I believe everything that we do to be successful in our businesses has to start before that. So right before that, I was a district sales manager for a wireless company. I ended up getting a promotion. I moved to San Diego. So I went from a 21-year-old kid, like 19, 20, I was probably 19 to 20, and I became a manager running the San Diego market. I started off with 7 stores. I did so good. I got 9, 10, 11.
Wow.
I got 11 stores. I took that area from last in the nation to number 1. But in that whole process, it was very difficult for people who were older than me, 30, 40, 50 years old, that were working for the company to try to take leadership from me. Right. So what I had to do is I had to come in there and show them that I can help them make more money. So instead of me like being upset that they don't like me or this or whatever, my job was, let me show you that I deserve this job by helping you. Because my job isn't to be your boss. My job is to be your employee. My job is to do everything I can do to make you successful. And in that process, it took a while for some of the older people. And once they finally jumped on board, the ones that did, they stayed. The ones that didn't, they were out the door, right? Because there's egos, right? And the problem is in entrepreneurship, you have to put your ego aside.
You do.
Right? You have to look at what your end goal is, right?
We always have to see the big picture, right?
Absolutely. And if somebody comes at you and says a comment that you don't agree with, you can even start it off with, yes, this, and this. So versus making them want to jump at you right away saying, oh, you don't agree with me. Now I'm going to entertain that. Okay. Yeah. Now they're listening, and now you can be objectively accomplishing the goal that you want to. We have to look at the end goal, not that simple conversation or where they're at this moment.
Correct. Yeah, I've had to deal with a lot of that. We have a lot of the similar upbringings, meaning that I was a store manager at a lot of the stores at the Camarillo outlets. And like I said, I showed people, and then especially jumping into the construction industry when I was young, because in the construction industry, you only get respect based on your experience. So here I was, a young kid. I was family too, but like I said, I had to work hard. I had to, do my own research. I had to let these guys know that also I deserve to be here. And I was more like you. I'm more of a servant leader. I don't believe the more that you move up the chain, the more people that you can tell what to do and point direction, it's the more people that you have to serve. So then your followers serve you willingly. And yeah, there's like you said, there's the ones who stay and that can get on board, and there's the ones who that got to go, that their egos got too involved with listening to young kids. But it sounds like, again, similar backgrounds of just being very ambitious, right?
Absolutely.
And you had to be ambitious, and because you purchased your formerly known as Sam Sadakoy Liquor from your dad. What was that process like, purchasing a business from family?
You know what? The thing is I'd never done any business for myself ever. It was easier to walk into something that was already running versus starting it from nothing, right? Even though the store, what we did in a year in the store, then we do it in a month now, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like we've progressed so much, but if I didn't have those fundamentals that were already there, to develop something from nothing is so much harder than taking something and building upon it, because you can make changes, you can make tweaks and whatever, but it was already running. Right. Not that it was making a lot of money, because it wasn't,
Yeah.
I had to put in 120-hour work weeks, and I'm fucking not bullshitting. 120 hours a week. People are like, how, what? Yeah. 16 and a half hours a day.
You can do it. I can relate. Trust.
But see, the thing is having that opportunity to purchase it from my parents. It allowed me a lot of the opportunities I have today. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot from that. One of those things are negotiation. I should have learned to negotiate before I jumped into that. I should have understood my numbers before I jumped into that. The problem is a lot of entrepreneurs, they jump into something because they want it or they like it.
Yeah.
Like a chef wants to become a business owner and own that. But the first thing they need to do is understand business.
Correct.
So nor did I understand business. I understood sales and understand people and I understood marketing, right? Mm-hmm. But not understanding the business, not understanding business value, not understanding a lot of things.
Managing people?
Managing people I got, right? Mm-hmm. I was already good at that.
Gotcha.
That was I love
That's
people.
Your specialty.
You know, and to me, I look at everybody as my equal. I don't look at my employee and say, I'm better than you. Mm-hmm. No, as a matter of fact, we're here together making this special dream come true.
Correct.
Right? So for me, I think it was an amazing experience. I think without that, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. I don't know what direction I would have gone into, but I never thought myself to be in the liquor store industry until I made it my own.
Yeah. So when your dad was the owner, did you used to help out? Because like I worked for one of my uncles, and I used to sit there like, man, I would do this differently, or I couldn't wait to have my own so I can do it this way. Because we talked about that learning process. We learned a lot from being able to see, but I also learned what to do and kind of like what not to do. Did you get a lot of that from your parents as well?
Yes, and the funny part is me and my dad are both stubborn in our own way, and it was really difficult even when I'd purchased the store, right? Because I had helped him out for a little while until I got to the point where I'm like, you're going to need to find somebody to run the store because, number one, I make way more money
at the wireless.
Right? Even though that company, I was no longer with that company. At 18, 19, 20, I was used to making $60,000, $70,000 a year. Yeah. I think my first year I made like over 50, and then one day my dad literally opened up my tax returns because he saw all my stuff. He was like, "Oh my God, you make so much money? That is all your money, God damn it!" Like he got all pissed off at me, and he looked at the money, and then I'm like, "Yo, Dad, by the way, I kind of need to go get a job because this store is not making enough profits to pay me." Mm-hmm. And then at that moment is when he offered for me to purchase it and make payments every single month because I didn't have
the lump sum.
Yeah. But I paid him cash. You know, under the table. Here you go, every single year for like 10 years, you know. Wow. And then I learned later, I'm like, oh shit, I'm paying cash, but now I'm paying tax on that cash. So I'm paying more than I did. So I learned a lot, which was a great experience. Yeah. Because sometimes I used to be sour about a lot of things when things that didn't go your way or you weren't happy about the result. But when you go back and you sit and you look at it, and you're like, this was a great experience.
Great experience, right? I have a lot of sour moments that turned into sweet moments because when those circumstances or experiences reoccur or similar, we already have that experience, so we know how to deal with it, right? And I can't go to school for that. I can't read a book for that. There's no substitute for that life experience of bumping your head and just bumping your head on something until you like finally, you get it, and then you're more prepared for what's to come because as it never stops.
It doesn't. And I think one thing that goes hand in hand with that is a lot of people feel that, oh, you know what? I wish I had a mentor at that time to teach me this. But sometimes we're not fucking ready to listen. You feel me?
Yeah, no. I was told I was never ready to listen because I wasn't ready to listen. I wanted to do things my way. I wanted it when I wanted it, how I wanted it, and I didn't really want to be told how to do it. That's why I can't go work for someone because I've learned how to tame that, but it's still inside of me where it's like, I kind of like to do things my way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And sometimes the problem that we have is that stubbornness, which makes us successful. It also slows our growth, right? For example, if I was better at listening to my dad for those 2 ideas that were great and ignored those 8 ideas that I didn't like, and instead of me opposing him, just listening and nodding my head, those 2 other things, if I had done that, I would be so much further in life right now than I am right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain talents that he had that I'm trying to build now, right? And there's just certain specific talents, and I'm like, holy shit, I just fucking wish I sat down with the patients to listen, even though these 8 things are fucking like, I don't agree at all. That's not the way I want to do business. Not at all. But those 2 things I fucked up that I couldn't absorb more energy because my dad's a storyteller. He's trying to teach you something. He going to tell you a 2-hour story about that one fucking thing. And I ain't got the patience for that shit.
I heard that. You've been really innovative since you've taken over the store, whether it's, like you said, now the rise of social media. But I also remember you were one of the first to actually deliver liquor.
Yeah.
Right? That where did that come from? Because I remember there were some times where, people had too much to drink. It's like, oh no, we can go to Sky Spot or call up Sky. You guys had the phone line and you would deliver the liquor. Where did that innovative idea come from? Because now we DoorDash and it's prevalent, but this was way before that.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself in the, really bad right now that I didn't become the Uber of deliveries. I had the dream and vision of it, but I didn't collab with the right people to make that dream happen. Because I had this whole vision of what they did. But what happened was I used to have customers that come to the store and they would be pretty intoxicated. And I told them, hey, bro, do me a favor, just shoot me a call. I'll just bring it to you. I always have 2 people at the store. Just bring it to you. I know you live around the corner. I don't want you to get hurt or hurt anybody. So I did that for a couple customers. And then one day we were pretty heavy on Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. And then Facebook maxed out on 5,000 followers back then, right? And we were a person because there were no business accounts. So we launched, I put up a post saying that, you know what? We're going to start doing a delivery service. And that post got so many views, likes, comments, shares. It was out of this world, right? Mm-hmm. People wanted to add me, but they couldn't because we were maxed out at that point. So then I was like, all right, this is exciting. We're going to do it. I bought the domain name, wedeliverliquor.com. We deliver craft beer. We did this, whatnot, right? And I was like, all right, we're going to run with it. And we did. And the beauty of it is that 2 other people thought we were making a shit ton of money on deliveries, right? And the problem with social media is people lie so much to everybody to make themselves look bigger and better than they need to.
It's everyone's
highlights, right? But on top of that, they're actually blatantly lying to you, which I fucking hate, right? I don't put any bullshit. I put the real, I'm going to put delivery, but I'm not going to say, oh, it's fucking going amazing. We're making millions of dollars on fucking delivery.
Yeah.
Bro, I barely fucking broke even on the delivery service. But what it did was it was a marketing fucking vehicle that exploded our store, that everyone became a fan of our store. Yeah. And it grew our sales in store through the roof. So my profitability went up, but it wasn't because the delivery services went up. It was people saying, we fuck with you because you care about us and you're giving us a service that we want.
And that was my next question is how is it to be in the, the liquor industry with the stigma of liquor? There's people who have substance abuse problems, people who have struggled with liquors in their time of life. I've struggled with liquor at a time in my life myself, just being vulnerable. How do you find that line when you say you see a guy stumbling in? Do you ever have to cut people off, or how do you find that balance between this is a customer and my business?
Well, absolutely. So the way I look at it is I care about my customers, right? And if that person is intoxicated, I've had times where we take our delivery driver and drop their ass off at home too, right? We'd offer it because we care, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason we've been able to grow our business so much is because we genuinely care about our community and care about our customers. But money is not what motivates me, right? So for me, I won't make a decision based off of just money. It's being who I am morally first. And then in that process, I'm going to figure out how to make money. Mm-hmm. So if it's wrong for me to do it, I'm not going to do it. If someone's drunk, I'm not going to do it. Some underage kid comes in and says, I'll give $50 for this bottle, so go fuck off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not
so
worth it.
I think I judge myself on my own morals and I follow them before I look at money, because I'll never do anything that I don't believe in to make money.
Yeah, that's so key when entrepreneurs, I always tell people, you shouldn't chase money. I was just telling someone this the other day, you can't chase money. Everyone can get rich real quick, but I'm not trying to get rich. I'm trying to build wealth, and that's different to everyone. And I'm trying to build generational wealth.
Absolutely.
For me and, my family and community of people. And I don't think you do that by chasing money. You do that by, like you said, being morally who you are, and then also relationships, right? Relationships have to be very important to you because everything follows a good relationship. Like you said, your customers felt like they had a relationship with you and the store.
Absolutely.
You know, that you cared about them, and that's what soared your sales.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at it like these customers that are coming into our store. Some of them are passing by 5, 6 stores to come to ours. You know what I mean? I respect
I was
that,
one of them.
and you know, and you're coming from Oxnard, right?
River Park, coming
yeah,
out past everything in El Rio, everything at the collections to go to your spot.
and I fucking respect that, and I love that, and I appreciate it, and I make sure that not just me, but every single person in my store makes it a happy experience for everybody.
Yeah. So how do we go from beer, wine, and spirits to now Happy Place Eatery in the food industry? I did somewhat of a crossover. I went from construction to now the Collab District, which is a co-working space. I had no fucking experience in co-working space. I just had an ambition. I can, I believe in myself, and I just figured I'd figure it out, right? Or surround myself with the right people to also figure it out. Talk about that transition, and was there challenges, fear, or are you just a risk taker?
I'm a calculated risk taker, and a lot of it I'm getting better because of my wife. Right? I would say before my wife, I'm an uncalculated, hot-headed, fucking super overly positive person. Right? And with my wife, and now she's the CFO of all of our businesses. She basically runs all the financials. She deals with all that, and she shows me everything before we start, right? So we do numbers, we do it all together, and she will give me her input, and I'll take it seriously. But normally I would have been just like, oh, I'm down for anything. But now I'm a little more calculated, right? So the reason we started the eatery is, so I own me and my wife, we own that 3-acre property where the store sits.
Mm-hmm.
I rezoned it 13 years ago to make it mixed use, commercial mixed use. And in that process, we were going to build a restaurant, and I love the alcohol industry. I enjoy drinking responsibly. I love good cocktails, great beer, and I love the social aspect of hanging out with people, collabing with people, drinking with people, and I feel like I get creative, and a lot of people get creative with it. So just because of my passion of the industry and what I've seen being a part of that industry and the love that industry has, I wanted to open a tap room. I wanted to open a family-friendly restaurant with an amazing drinking experience, but eating experience. And I was like, well, if I'm going to do the drinking experience, I better learn food.
Yeah. Did you have any prior experience in the food industry before?
Just you come into my house, I'm gonna make you some bomb ass food. You know what I mean? But
yeah, just in the kitchen.
I'm not no Chef Palmer. I'm not no Alex Montoya. You know what I mean? Some of our great chefs out here in the 805. But I'm somebody who's passionate about good quality. And for me, what I wanted to create was something that I want to put in my system and my body, and using the best ingredients I possibly can. And I've always been a big believer, if you use the right ingredients and use the right quality, it's going to show at the end.
Yeah, the food's amazing. And I feel more of just the food, even at both places, but the Happy Place Eatery, it's an experience that you get, right? And I always tell people too, like, yeah, I can build a wall, I can do construction, but I also give the customer a different experience that they want to continue to come back for, because that's where I believe that relationship between customer and business happens, is when you can give that person that experience on top of, just a quality product, and then they're going to go and tell 5 to 10 people.
Absolutely.
And I think I've always felt that's one of the best way to market, is I can go tell someone about my experience at this place, then it resonates with them more, and they're going to go want to share that experience.
Yeah, and you know what? That's one thing I look for in every single employee, team member, manager, is you got to genuinely love people. If you don't genuinely love people and like to see people, and you don't genuinely like to smile, sorry, you can't really be on the happy places. This ain't the sad place. It's happy for a reason. And like you said, when you give somebody a great experience, great food, and it goes a long way.
You renamed your business. You named it after the meaning of your mother's name. How has she influenced your career and your journey aside from just your father being an entrepreneur?
She was actually an entrepreneur. So she's as much part of his success. Damn it, I always tell myself I'm not going to get emotional, but
It happens.
anytime I talk about my mom and what she means to me, it's, and, she's a big part of my life. She's always there for me, whether it's mentally, spiritually, financially. Most importantly, she believed in me. She made me believe in myself.
Yeah, that's important.
And gave me the confidence to feel like anything I want to do, I can do it. And one day somebody just left this review about this is my happy place. And the moment somebody said that, and I was like, oh shit, that's my mom's name. Like, that's her nickname, Happy. So then I was like, all right, I'm fucking changing it to Happy Place. Because, the thing is, like, my dad, he worked so hard. He built something great alongside with my mom. But my mom didn't get the recognition, right? The name was named after my dad. My mom didn't get recognition for all the things she did. And I'm like, this is my way.
To give her just due, right?
Absolutely.
And your journey and your whole family, and her contribution to your whole family's journey of success that you guys have had for generations now, right?
Absolutely.
And you're building something that's going to be for generations to come.
Absolutely.
You have a great social media presence, man. Your personal page, you put out great content. Your businesses have great content. I have a hard time being in front of the camera. Like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. And I'm something that I'm trying to get over because I have this fear of, like, judgment. Do people want to hear what I got to say? I'm self-conscious about this. But I see you're so comfortable in front of the camera, and I see when I see your content, you're speaking directly to your customer and your audience. How has social media been for you, and have you always been, comfortable in front of the camera and outgoing?
Yeah. Even when I was a kid, like, I loved the attention. I loved being we'd go to Indian parties, and these weddings are like 500, 800 people. I'd be the one in the middle of the dance floor, and the bride and groom were dancing with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like 10 years old, 7 years old. I love dancing. Michael Jackson, like, I would do the captain,
the glove.
the Captain EO, the glove, all that shit. Like, I loved it, and I just loved dancing. I loved music, and that gave me the confidence too. So between being a great dancer and being the best dancer in every single party growing up, it was one of those things that, like, it gave me the confidence for myself. My mom gave me the confidence. And because of that, I've never been shy in front of a camera. And I enjoy it.
Yeah, and that carries over. That confidence carries over to other parts in your life, right? When you're in business meeting, when you're locking down a deal, when you're talking to potential partners, one of the things that is confidence. People want to be around people that are confident, not cocky, but just confident in what they do. And most of the time, I believe that confidence not only comes from encouragement from your environment, but also from hard work that you put in, right? Like, I always say, you can only withdraw what you deposit, right?
Absolutely.
So if you don't put in the work, you're not going to have confidence.
By the way, I love that line. I've been listening to your podcast, and I love that. It's great because I think people forget that everybody sees things on social media and they're like, oh yeah, I'm making this or I'm doing this. And now everyone's trying to sell a service or sell a class. It's like, you're not really fucking that successful for you to go out and selling a class, right? I love, like, when I go back and fact check half of these people that are talking what they're talking, it's bullshit, right? So a lot of these people are trying to write those checks and they don't have the money in their account because they haven't put it in.
Correct.
So for us to be successful or to be truly confident, we have to know that we put in the work, we prepared. There's preparation for this success, for this opportunity. When it's met with preparation, I think not only does it give you confidence, but somebody can read through you. They can see
the
energy and the fact that this motherfucker knows what he's talking about.
Exactly. I wanted to talk about, like, how do you talked about you work with your wife, and that, I don't know how that dynamic is because I've never, been that, had that dynamic where I worked with my partner. Not only that, but how do you find the balance in the time management. Like you said, there's sometimes your day may require you to work 12 to 16 hours, but then you have a family, you have a wife, and all those relationships require your best in your time. How do you find that balance and that time management?
That's actually a great question, and I'm going to answer it a little bit differently. I used to fucking suck at it, okay? Because to build my business to where it's at now, I had to fucking suck at that first part of my life.
You had to suck, or did you just sacrifice?
Both. Yeah. I made a sacrifice, but I sucked at it because I made the sacrifice. But for us to be great in something, you have to dedicate time and energy. So when I was working those 120-hour weeks, my wife is at home, right? Or she was working at another company, or she was helping out with the business or getting involved in the business, but I'm there 120 hours a week. I don't see my family much. And when I get home, I don't have that positive energy either that I should be bringing because I'm exhausted, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. Yeah. You're like, I'm just barely getting by and I'm working fucking 120 hours a week. Yeah. That's the sacrifice I had to put in those businesses for 10 years, right? And now things have changed because it's not that I'm not spending the time in my business. I'm actually creating better systems in my business, and I'm putting other people in charge of things, and they're all doing a great job because I'm making sure I'm supporting them and helping them along the way to be successful. And in their success is my success.
Correct.
And it allows me to, I'm still working all the time, but I still make sure I make time now. Like I went to the gym this morning, 6 a.m. I came home, I walked my son to school, right? Yeah. I'll take him to jiu-jitsu 2 days a week, three days a week now. And I try to be there for them as much as I can, spend as much time, go on 3 vacations a year with my family. Because those are the things that are important to us. And if we don't spend time with the people that we love, when later on, you're going to look in life and say, why don't they treat me right? Why they're like this? It's because we didn't make the effort, right? And I think the problem with the definition of success is some people just think money.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
Not at all. I know some of the most richest people, but I wouldn't consider them successful because the rest of their life is in shambles, so to speak. They have no relationships. They have no relationships with their kids, their parents, or whatever. They're just dull people, but they're super rich, right? And I've never. My goal isn't to be rich. My goal is to build generational wealth, and I do that I think I can do that by sharing resources, not by just getting everything myself and trying to make it all happen myself. That's why I wanted to create the Collab District, for a place for everyone to connect, the business community connect with students and entrepreneurs, where we can share resources for one another's success. I heard you talk about delegation. It sounds like you're starting to delegate more 10 years later in your business. Was that hard for you to do, is delegate? Because it's fucking hard for me. Because, again, we want things done our way, the way that I want it, how I wanted it, and I had to be more results-based. Like, if you can go get me the results I need, your process doesn't matter. But it was very hard to, let go of important responsibilities.
I think this is one of the most valuable things. If you're a business owner, you want to listen to this right now, or you want to be an entrepreneur, this is so important. You need to make sure that you give somebody the opportunity to take something off your plate. They're not going to be 100% as good as you are. But if you really break it down, am I as good to do everything? Yes, I'm the best cashier. Try to fuck with me being a cashier. Good luck. Right? I'm going to kill it. I'm going to sell a lot of stuff to people, the product that people want. They're going to come back and tell their friends because they love the product. I'm going to take it to the next level. I will never sell anything to somebody that's not right for them. I will build that relationship. They're going to come back. Okay. When it comes to doing the paperwork, before my wife was involved, I could do it better than any of my employees.
Right. In your sleep, right?
And in my sleep, I knew what the hell I needed to do. And I'm great at that. Okay. Stocking the coolers. Good luck trying to beat me because I'm trying to beat how quick I did it yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stock it faster. I'm going to stock it better. Oh, shit. Well, you know what? This product isn't moving. Let me move it here. I'm doing things on the fly, out of the box, thinking that other people aren't going to do. Now, you know what? Cleaning, mopping the floor. I'm going to polish that fucking floor so when my customers come in the next day, it looks legit. But the problem is this is where we fuck up. doing all those things, I can't do them all at 100%.
No.
I'm doing them all at 60% because I got too much on my fucking plate.
Yeah.
Right? So the moment I started delegating and realizing that this person does it 70 or 80%, to me, that's fucking great. And guess what? Now I'm going to invest in them to take that 70 to 75
Yeah.
to 80 to 85 to 90. And one thing that's really helped me out is that when I genuinely care about my employees and they see it, that I not only help them in being successful in their job, but I want them to be successful in life. And when you build that bond with them and you show them you really care and you genuinely do, not only does it help their life, but they become better at doing everything.
Yeah, I think they care more. It become when you have that family type of environment within your company, it's not work for them either. You know, of course, some days it is. They're not going to be as consistent, like because it might not be as passionate. But then they start to share in your passion once you start to build more than just a work relationship with your employees. And I have the same type of environment in my construction company. Is like I care about your livelihood. I care about you as a person. And and we happen to work together too, and it makes the working relationship great. It makes the working environment a better working environment. And when all those things come together, those are the traits of a successful company.
Absolutely. And the thing is, this is you want everyone to be successful in all aspects of their life, their relationship. So I feel like sometimes we become therapists, right?
I laugh at that because this is 100% real. I mean, I was just having this conversation with my fiance and my VP is like, you sign up to be your employee's therapist in some respects, right? I mean, because we're human. We want to say we can all check everything at the door and just come to work, but we're not robotic. We're human. We're emotional. We have things that go on at home, and you bring that energy into the office. You have things that go on in the office, and you bring that energy home. And I think as leaders, and when you have that environment, a family environment, to where you can go and ask someone, hey, you okay personally? You want to have a conversation? And you can sit there and listen to them. It has nothing to do with work, and you give them your time. Well, that person will run through a brick wall the next time you ask them to do something.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And the one thing that, going back to the energy, right? Energy is so important. And I feel people drop the ball on this. I think a lot of employers do too, is when I have my own issues, right, that happen either at home or in business or finances that people don't see, right? Because I'm not posting when I had a bad day financially,
no.
Right? I ain't posting all the struggles I go through, right? We don't. We only fucking fantasize what life is to be an entrepreneur. We're glorified these days to be an entrepreneur because nobody posts the bullshit that we go through, the struggles, the time we have to borrow money to fucking pay a bill because some shit happened. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to make payroll.
Exactly. Like, I mean, there's so many struggles that we deal with as entrepreneurs, and a lot of that gets swept under the rug because nobody fucking talks about it.
Yeah.
They glorify all their goods, and then you come into work and you have all the stresses. For me, I'm just fortunate that I don't focus on my problems. I focus on the solutions.
I'm 100% with you there. I don't even give it energy anymore. I don't give. Why give the problem energy if you're not going to be working towards a solution?
Absolutely.
We're the same in that. But everyone can't, and everyone's not going to be that way. But
because see, it's really hard for some people to get over something, right? And for me, it's so easy. I think the reason is because I've trained my brain, right? And I feel like in success in anything you want in life, right? Whether you want to be an entrepreneur, an athlete, or you name it, right? You want to start up anything, right? A nonprofit. I think the biggest thing you need to make sure that you personally do is you have to keep a positive mental attitude. You have to keep a positive mental attitude, and you have to bring a positive energy, because if you don't, your team's going to fall apart.
Comes from the top down.
That's it, man.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, I always say managing tasks and managing people are completely different things. And if you not comfortable and do well at both, you're going to struggle at running a business that is not a one-man show, right? If you have to work in a team, because you have to be the motivator, you have to be the enforcer sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's part's hard for me, being that enforcer, especially when you have those personal relationships, but it's necessary for growth.
You know what? Sometimes I feel like if once we get better and better at holding ourselves accountable on everything and calling our own bullshit out, it makes it easier for us calling other people's bullshit out.
Yeah.
Because I feel like before, sometimes even if I worked hard, like I would slip up and not do as much as I should do to get to where I want to go, right? Because for us entrepreneurs to get where we want to go, we have to have a clear vision that this is what I want to accomplish. And then you create a path to go towards that. And if you know every single day I need to do this much to get there, right? If you want to start lifting, 2 plates, you start with, the bar, add weight and keep growing, right? And if you stop going to the gym or stop lifting it, you're not going to get there. And I think once you can hold yourself truly accountable and call your own bullshit, it's easier to call other people's bullshit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you have to be the most accountable person, right? You also talked about traveling, and you like to travel. I recently traveled out of the U.S. and Mexico recently. I went to Paris and France and the south of France.
Beautiful.
And when I came back, we were out there for like 12 days. When I came back, I had a different perspective on life, right? Because to see the way other humans live, it affected me in my day-to-day life now. And then I try to bring that type of energy in. But can you talk about how traveling affects your career and business career and how it shapes you?
I'll give you one word: appreciation. Appreciate you're in this fucking beautiful country.
Yeah.
Right? Now, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with everything about the United States.
Of course.
I love this motherfucking country. It's given me everything I got.
Yeah.
I've given it everything I got, and it's given back. You go to these countries, you see how people live. You see how happy they are with so little that they have.
Right.
And we've been fucking brainwashed to think that we need all this luxury and all this crap.
Yeah.
It's because our economy runs off of it. When people buy shit, our economy does better. The land values go up. Land values go up. The government gets more taxes. They're all in it for the money, right? The government is in it to make themselves more money, period. So in this whole process, becoming this materialistic world, sometimes we just need to sit back and say, fuck, I'm so appreciative of what I do have. And I don't think you can truly succeed until you appreciate what you have.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of appreciation and gratitude. That's part of traits that you have to have as success, because and especially with the younger generation, I feel like they lose the appreciation and gratitude because everything is instant, microwave success. No one wants to put anything in the oven and let it bake and go through the trial and error process.
I think the problem is it isn't instant success, but people are lying on social media, making it seem like it's instant success. So there's this bullshit that happens on social media, which I fucking hate. And there are people acting like they're doing way better than they are.
But that's what the platform is for, right? To show your highlights somewhat.
But the thing is this, I don't mind the highlights, right? Because my social media is my highlights. Mm-hmm. But it's the lies I don't like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
Don't blatantly talk about making $500,000 a year and then you have another conversation and I do the math according to what you just fucking said. And I know you're making $60,000 a year. Then somebody else goes on your background and they can fucking really pull like what you're actually making. There's a lot of shit that can happen by doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I just don't like the lies and the bullshit, because the reason I don't like it and I don't want to say hate it, because I feel anytime we hate on anything, we block ourselves off from figuring out solutions and other stuff, right? So to me, I'm very intrigued by it, because people do it to try to push forward and try to get but what it's creating is this huge mental illness. It's creating depression. It's creating people to feel like they're not doing well in life because other motherfuckers are lying about how they're really living.
Exactly. Yeah, that's 100% facts. You also talked about doing some expansion and opening up a brick and mortar happy place eatery, and talk about what are the plans for that? Is that coming soon? And what became the motivation to do a brick and mortar, to like continue to scale from a truck to a brick and mortar?
So analyzing the food truck business. And by the way, I just want to shout out to anybody who's in the food truck business. Love you guys. Appreciate all the fucking work you do, because motherfuckers don't know how difficult it is to work on a food truck, run a food truck, own a food truck, be a part of a food truck. It is so fucking hard. Okay. First of all. Number two is when you're in the food truck business, I've done all the numbers and I've seen once I get into a brick and mortar, I have the opportunity to do alcohol, right? My profit's going to skyrocket. Now I got more people coming for the alcohol and the food. Now my sales are going to double whatever I was on the food truck. So number one, I just saw that. I saw trends. I talked to people like you do. I collaborate, right? I have great friends in the restaurant industry. I talk to them about numbers, see what's going on. I understand my margins. I understand so much about business, which gave me a huge advantage jumping into this industry. So when I saw all these numbers and saw all this stuff and saw my future vision of that, the big complex that I'm going to build, now we're actually opening up a location in downtown Ventura, which is popping up soon, before summer of 2024. And we're so excited about that because everything makes sense and the numbers make sense with the amount of work we know. We're realistic. We know how much work we have to put in.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, these businesses, the thing is it's not even just the amount of work that we're putting in Happy Place Eatery, but it's all the work I've put in before I even started Happy Place Eatery. Because once you've had success in other businesses and you know what to do and you have the ability to maneuver and change things and understand that you need to go reach out to the right people, collab with the right people to help you.
Correct.
I've talked to chefs, I've talked to property owners, I've talked to other business owners to learn from them, and having that network to be able to go lean on and talk to people about, hey, this is the problem I'm having, and having the vulnerability to say it,
you need help,
and on social media, it looks like everything is perfect with Happy Place Eatery, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's great. We're building an amazing brand. We've learned so much. We've had so many failures along the way. But all these temporary failures are what we learn from. We change, we adapt, and now we're going to do it better.
Correct.
And I think that's what's great about once you can create a better system and learn from your experiences, I think that really makes it powerful.
And see, I appreciate your honesty about your failures, because a lot of people won't get on to public platforms and talk about the failures, right? They only glorify themselves. Like you said, they floss when they get the opportunity on these public platforms, whether it's social media or a podcast. So I definitely appreciate your vulnerability about your failures, because I think also as men, like, we have our own egos, right? Like, we don't want to talk about our failures and have other people know that we've had failures. But I mean, I'm the same way included, is that you have to be vulnerable to if you're gonna be able to help someone, because like you, I don't want to serve no one no bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sell you a bullshit story that, yeah, you start a business today and everything's going to be unicorns and cotton candy.
Hell no.
That's not.
No damn chance. And, me and Mambo, from Q95.9, we started a Michelada Mix company, and it was doing so great. It was popping off. We were in 500 stores. We were going to get picked up by Whole Foods. We were going to get picked up by Costco. So many good things that we're so close to striking gold. But nobody knew all the drama and all the headaches and all the problems we went through. We had manufacturers' problems. We had so many other fucking problems. And due to so many other issues that at that moment I wasn't ready to deal with, we had to kind of hang the hat up for that time, right? So at the moment, we no longer produce a product. It's not in business currently. We still have the trademark. We still have the recipes. And there's a dream to eventually maybe bring it back, and maybe with the new restaurant and all this, it might kind of like bring it back because we loved it. But those are failures that make us better. It makes us learn. It makes us understand the value of having the right people on your team, right? And sometimes we all get greedy. We want to own 100% of something, right? Yeah. But what good is owning me and Mambo together, owning 100% of that company, and now the company doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And the difference could have been if I had the right fucking partner.
Right.
Right. Who's that one person that could have took it from where we were to take it to the next step?
To where your vision seen it was going to be.
I mean, I had the vision, but there was fucking steps that I was missing. There was that ladder that I needed.
Yeah.
And some of it is even somebody to help you push you a little bit more towards the right direction. And the problem is sometimes we get so stubborn, we keep doing the same shit expecting different results.
Mhm.
That's what I did.
That's insane.
It's insane.
That's insane.
And it was like the failures are my fault,
Yeah.
right? Because I was in control of that company,
Right.
right? And I fucked up. But learning from that experience is powerful. Now it's like, I already know everything not to do. I already know what to do to fucking make it powerful and successful.
Yeah.
So I think it's beautiful to learn and to fail. I've never had a problem failing. Like failing is learning, you know, and for people that are afraid of failure, they will never try anything.
That's correct. Those are the people that never start the business. They never start the idea. They never turn their passion or their talent into monetizing off it because of their fear of failure. And there's so many wasted ideas out there. And I always say the failure is not trying. The failure is not in the numbers, a failed business or not, because I've had failed businesses. I've had, you know, that's just like, again, it's part of the journey and it's part of the process to now being able to be where I am today. And I'm able to share those experiences with other people as I, you know, look to mentor other people. And it sounds like you have a lot of great wisdom. Where do you go for your mentorship? Like if you're like someone like me, a lot of people go to you for wisdom and for mentorship, but where do you go?
So I have a few different people, right? I have some friends that are doing very, very well, that aren't on social media, that aren't flashing, but you know, worth $1 billion and they live in the 805, right? I mean, real money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like stupid money.
Yeah.
I have my brother-in-law in Vegas, and he's probably my closest mentor because he's somebody I connect with all the time. He understands it, and he tells me how it fucking is. No matter how much it fucking hurts, tells me how it is. And I think that's what it is. You need to find a mentor that'll tell you how it is, but you got to fucking have the balls, or you have to have the strength to take fucking criticism. Don't be so stubborn that, oh, my way is the right way. And listen, again, remember, anybody who's giving you advice, they're speaking from their own eyes and their own mind. Whether it's positive or negative, you have to take everything with a grain of salt or a grain of sugar.
That's a fact. Well, man, I enjoyed my time with you today on today's podcast. Like, what's next for yourself personally? We talked about the Happy Place Eatery and the potential brick and mortar, but like, what do you got coming up next?
So obviously downtown Ventura, we're opening up our first beer, wine, and food Happy Place Eatery, which we're super excited about. So that's step one. We're ordering a brand new food truck because I got sick and tired of repairs and problems. So we have a brand new tricked out food truck.
Okay.
That's going on the next level. We're going to have a DJ booth on the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
No one's ever done that. I've never seen anyone do that.
You're about to change the game.
Yeah, we're gonna bring all of my DJ friends, all the fun people, and like do something fun with it.
Yeah.
I'm working on some projects that I might be running back with Mambo, which I can't really talk too much about, but you guys are going to see through social medias. I'm developing a 3-acre property. It's about like a $20 to $30 million project that I'm working on, which we're hoping to break ground next year. Nice. So that's going to be fun. We're doing about 40 apartments in the back. We're doing a huge outdoor fun tap room experience so the community can come hang out with their friends, and building a drive-through coffee shop. So got a lot of stuff going on. And then on top of it, we've had a lot of people reach out that want to be part of the Happy Place Eatery success and the growth of it. And we have 4 or 5 people that want to already franchise it out. So,
wow. Thinking about that.
Yeah, no, we are doing it. So in 2024, we're going to start franchising out, but we're waiting. We're doing all our documentation, and we're making sure that the people that are interested are fully vetted. That we don't want to bring anybody in to sell them a franchise unless we truly believe they know what it takes and we believe they have what it takes to be successful.
Awesome. Well, tell our audience, how can they find yourself and your businesses on the social platforms? So
on social, it's Sky Center. On Instagram, you can go to skycenter.com and SKYSUNNER.com, and literally it'll pop up all of my socials. When you go through my social, you'll find all my businesses, but it's We Deliver Liquor, like we talked about earlier for the bottle shop, and it's a Happy Place Eatery on Instagram, social, TikTok, everything. But yeah, just reach out and not only to follow me, but if you have any questions, you need any advice, hit me up. I love our community and I want to help everybody do as good as they possibly can. And I'm here to help our community. So if you have questions, comments, you want to know something, shoot me a DM and I'll get right back to you.
Well, again, thank you for joining us today on the Collab District podcast. Like I said, the most valuable thing is time, and you spent your time with me and your wisdom. So I definitely appreciate it. Thank you for being a guest.
I appreciate you, man.